just want 2 Kaya Toasts and 2 coffees.
First stop of the day is breakfast, but I'm not gonna lie, it's 12:30 in the afternoon. It was a late start, we had a late night. But we were at Ya Kun Kaya Toast. This is like a very traditional breakfast and one of the more affordable ones here in Singapore. What's in this? It's just toast with a fairly large slab of butter in there and some kaya, which is like a coconut type spread. And of course, coffee, 3rd cup of the day.
2 pro tips that we've learned so far. 1, all coffee in Southeast Asia comes with sugar, so you have to ask for no sugar if you don't like sugar in your coffee. 2, if you're eating on a budget in Singapore, you have to pay for your own napkins wherever you go, so bring your own. Brought hand wipes and napkins. We bought these from some guy at a hawker market last week, and it was $1 for 3 packs, so it's lasted us the whole time.
That was like so much butter, more than we've had on previous toast that we've had. But I think it's time to go walk some of this off.
The cheapest way to get around town in Singapore is walking, but it's so hot and so humid, so we try to limit walking to as little as possible. So we're taking the MRT, that's the next best option. It's air conditioned, it's cool, and it's super easy. We just tap our cards and go. And it's usually around $1 per person per ride. Since we're on a $50 budget today, we're trying to do as many free things as possible. Luckily, there are a ton of free things to do here, including going to the park. So we went to Fort Canning Park. It's one of the most popular ones here in Singapore, and there's a couple of stops we want to make.
In addition to being a very beautiful green space within the city and holding these super cool bench swings, Fort Canning Park holds some really interesting history. Here at the Battle Box is where Singapore surrendered to Japan in 1942. This building behind me served as the headquarters for the British Far East Command throughout World War II and has now been converted into a hotel right here in Fort Canning Park.
And this is a recreation of a 14th century garden that the kings would have had at their palaces right here on Fort Canning Hill. Just $1 Singaporean for a nice cold water.
That is the least expensive thing we have paid for in Singapore.
Real quick, I was pretty hot, pretty cranky, pretty thirsty, pretty hungry, all the things all at once. So we basically went home and then I changed my mind because I had some nice cool air conditioning. So now we're back out again and our MRT total will be a little bit higher than it should have been, but hopefully we can still make it under the $50.
I think what we lost in MRT funds, we've gained back in skipping lunch. So I think it kind of washes out.
All right, we're gonna head into the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple, which is just behind me here. It's 5 stories and it has a fun story. It's called the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple because one of Buddha's teeth is inside. The actual Buddha, his tooth is here. We're gonna find out. The Buddha Tooth Relic Temple is just stunning. It left me speechless. Honestly, I think it's probably one of the most beautiful temples that we've ever been inside. Just the details, the gold, and they had a rooftop garden. It was so peaceful in there.